Thank you, Johannes, for joining me today. It's nice to meet you, nice to see you, and always nice to talk to you.
Thanks.
So let's begin with the background, right? How did you start in the cryptocurrency industry? Why cryptocurrency industry? Just interesting to learn more.
Yeah. So I'm a tax advisor and my focus is on taxation of income from capital assets. So from traditional assets, just shares, investment funds, and so on. And then around 2017, this asset class, crypto assets, came into the market, and it's now meanwhile a very important asset class. And crypto assets are related to traditional financial assets, and that's why I also focused starting in 2017, 2018 also on crypto assets.
From your professional perspective, what's the most fascinating thing about cryptocurrency industry?
Just from a tax perspective, let's say like that, the interesting thing is that we had this new asset class, as I said, starting to become important 2017-18, and there were absolutely no clear rules. How should income from these crypto assets be taxed here in Austria, for example, and other countries have the same problems here. And for me, it was fascinating to see how the Austrian government reacts on this and tries to define clear rules so that also for the investors there are clear rules and that they know how income from crypto assets actually shall be taxed.
All right, and is there any stark contrast compared to, for instance, other Western countries?
You mean related to Austria, if there are any contrasts? Yeah, there is one. So the special thing in Austria here is that the Austrian government introduced a withholding tax on income from crypto assets. So if we have a crypto exchange here in Austria and I make my trades via this Austrian crypto exchange, then the Austrian crypto exchange is obliged to withhold the tax for me as an investor and to pay it to the tax office. And I think that's something that no other country in the world has. So that's very unique here in Austria.
Do you think that's one of the main reasons why there are so many new players in the Austrian crypto scene?
No, I don't think so, because this withholding tax regime, it's quite complex. So when you start in Vienna or in Austria, then you have to implement this, and you don't have to implement this when you start in another EU member state. I think the reason why crypto exchanges start in Austria is the Financial Market Authority, because I think they have already quite good experience or made experience with other crypto exchanges, and this is why the Financial Market Authority have the experience, and they try to find good solutions for crypto exchanges, and that's why other crypto exchanges start here in Austria.
What is the future outlook on cryptocurrency industry then?
Yeah, so cryptocurrency is on the one hand side, they are criticized, and there are a lot of people who say that's quite useless and it's just a high speculative product. On the other side, we have the cryptocurrencies, and they will remain. Yeah, so this is an asset class we have, and of course, in certain aspects, it makes absolutely sense to have cryptocurrencies. There are huge differences to fiat currencies or to other traditional financial assets, and I think the blockchain technology is also quite useful when we think about security tokens. So you can tokenize specific asset classes, or you can tokenize shares, bonds, debt securities, or whatever. And that's just quite another way to distribute then these assets, and I think that's quite important also for the future.
Since we touched upon the topic of RWAs, real world assets, right? Then in this case, or tokenized real world assets, is it straightforward how to tax them?
At least in Austria it is, yeah, because for the real world assets, let's take a tokenized share or tokenized investment funds. We have these tax rules for investment funds that would then also apply for a tokenized investment funds. So at least in Austria, the rules are quite clear. The rules weren't clear for cryptocurrencies because that was something quite new. it was not a financial asset, at least for a tax purposes, and that's why for the cryptocurrencies, new rules had to be defined. Yeah.
What about tax evasion?
Yeah, tax evasion, that's currently, of course, a huge problem because the tax authorities, they can't see the crypto trades made by the investors, especially if they are made, for example, Austrian investor by a foreign crypto exchange. They have no chance to get any insight in these trades. And that's why currently there is a study which says that more than 90% of the crypto investors do not tax their income from crypto assets correctly.
And how's Austria planning to tackle this issue?
There is no specific plan of Austria, but there is this new reporting regime called CARF, or Crypto Asset Reporting Framework. That's an EU-wide initiative or an OECD initiative that is implemented within the EU and comes into force next year. And CARF provides for that crypto exchanges are obliged to report all the transactions made by the users to the tax authority. And then the tax authority, for example, in Austria, where the report is made to, then forwards all these reportings to the countries where the users are resident. So in the end, let's take an example, a German investor uses an Austrian crypto exchange. Then the Austrian crypto exchange reports all the transactions to the Austrian tax authority, and the Austrian tax authority forwards this information to the German tax authority. So in the end, the German tax authority knows that this German investor made the trades via an Austrian crypto exchange, and then in the end, the investor is actually forced to tax the income correctly.
So cooperation is the right way out, right?
Cooperation, correct, is the right method to guarantee that in the end the investors do not evade the taxes anymore.
All right. Do you see it as a safe future for everyone?
A safe future in the sense of
in the sense of with these new reporting standards,
yeah,
do they lead to a safer future?
Yeah, a safer future for whom? For investor, for example. Yeah. I think it's an important regime just to guarantee that the taxes on crypto income is actually paid. Yeah, and so of course this CARF regime is quite important, and I think it goes into the right direction.
And do you think that other countries could take an example?
Yeah, so as I said, it's implemented within the EU. It's a harmonized reporting, but also third countries will implement CARF. Yeah, so Switzerland, for example, United Kingdom, and also the United States will implement CARF. And the more country will adopt CARF, the more effective is, of course, this new reporting regime. Because let's assume there is a country which does not take part, then I as investor could make my trades via the stock exchange that is resident in the country that does not take part, and I would still have the opportunity to evade taxes. So as I said, the more countries are implementing this, the better it is.
All right, this was a unique perspective coming from your unique past in cryptocurrency industry. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.